This is the last Saturday Zoom of the year. Happy holidays to everyone. This is our last Saturday Zoom of the year. We got the holidays coming up, and I know that I'm looking forward to spending some time with my family, and I'm sure you guys are as well. So we're gonna have a great one today. It's gonna be laid back, and we're gonna kind of have an ask me anything question and answer session. I'm gonna do a little presentation on really the store of value of energy and what the long-term play is for energy. And then we're gonna open up for Q&A. We've got Peter here. I think Alan's coming in as well. We deployed energy back in February. Didn't really have much but the coin in the ecosystem. We went all the way up to $980 at our high point. Now we've came down since then. You always get that pullback after that initial hype and excitement and the surge. And we steadied out at this price that we've been playing in for quite some time now, guys. This zone, in fact, if you look at a chart, it looks like a big bowl shape kind of happening. It just almost a floor has really been built there. And I think going into the coming year, especially when we deploy STARSTAKE, we've got local teams that are starting, or not local teams, but local to their communities that are starting presentations and educating people on the energy ecosystem in their communities, and you know, in a lot of communities around the world. So we've got a lot of big things happening. I do think we're going to see this price really take off, and you know, everybody goes, well, where can we go? Guys, I'll just say this. I really think it's going to be a fun year. I think it's going to be a fun coming year for us, and I think there's going to be a lot of lives that are changed. Now, before I begin, I didn't do this last week. I want to do this week. I want you guys, I'm going to change the view on here to the gallery. What I want you guys to do is I want you guys just to turn on your cameras for a second. I want to show the world how strong DeFi Nation is. Turn on your cameras. Now, if you do me a favor, just give a shout out, good morning, good evening, good afternoon from wherever you are, and I'll start us off. Just take yourself off mute for a second. Good morning from Kansas.
Good morning from Texas.
Oceanside, California.
California.
Texas.
Kansas
Good
City.
evening from Germany.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. I heard Kansas City on there. I got Kenny from my neighborhood. Hamburg, Germany. I know we got a lot of German guys in the house today, so it's good to have you guys here.
Texas.
All right.
Johannesburg.
We got people from South Africa.
Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas.
Germany, here we are.
Let's go, Brandon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. And with that, go ahead and mute yourselves back out, and we'll get started. We've got people all around the world in the energy community, and it's only going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. So here's what I want to talk to you guys about. You know, we know the hoopla and what's the excitement, not just hoopla, really genuine excitement. We know what's coming with STARSTAKE, and we know how big it's going to be, because for the first time in history, there's an there's basically a market that's being made for intellectual property, which is a really, really big thing. Now, I'm not going to go into all that today because we've done presentations in the past. We did one last week. I mean, all our presentations this entire last part of the year have been about this. So, you know, go watch one of those. But when we create this market for intellectual property to be traded called STARSTAKE, guys, we believe there's going to be a lot of volume coming into energy. And then we're also going to, now that we have something, we're starting our grassroots campaigns where we take this to our local communities. I'm taking it to my local community. I'm opening my doors. I know there's people from all over the world that open their doors, and they're going to have weekly meetups just to educate their local community on cryptocurrency, DeFi, and energy. So, you know, we know the excitement with STARSTAKE, and you know, for the first time, there is a market where real intellectual property can be traded. And this is a really, really big thing. If you don't understand that, then you don't understand how big and how dynamic this is. But what I want to focus on today is the store of value of energy. I want to focus on the store of value, because where can energy really go long term? Everybody's going, where can this go long term? Where can this go long term? What's the ultimate goal? What's the ultimate game plan? Well, we all know that if you have 25 energy staked, right, you get to earn on the entire ecosystem. You get to earn on the entire ecosystem. And that's great right now, because why? It's affordable to get 25 energy staked. It's a great thing right now. But as the price climbs, you know, it's going to get to a point where it's just unaffordable for most people to have 25 energy staked. Yet there's still a huge advantage to them purchasing energy. So let me go ahead and talk about that. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I want to give a shout out and kudos to Lynn Brown. She actually put this PowerPoint or this presentation together, and it came out really, really nice. So we're going to kind of go through this. So, you know, earning money, guys, is one thing, but knowing how to save it is completely different. No matter how big your paycheck, if you're not saving it in the right way, some of its value will be robbed by inflation. And if you guys don't know, if you haven't heard, this is a fact. And it's, when you think about it, it's almost so hard to fathom. The dollar has been in existence for hundreds of years, right? Hundreds of years. We've had this dollar in existence. Ever since, you know, basically the US has became a country back in 1776. And so, you know, we've had this dollar. We may not have had it right when we became a country, but, you know, shortly after that, we've had this dollar for a long time. Had this dollar for a very long time. Did you know, out of all the dollars, all of them that have ever existed, this decade, past century, all the dollars that have ever been existed, 40% of them have been printed in the past 12 months. Think about that. We're talking about over 100 years, over 100 years worth of currency that's been created. 40% of that supply has been created within the past 12 months. It's shocking. So people are really looking for a way, you know, if they're just keeping their dollars in dollars, they're getting robbed. I mean, there's disputes on what the inflation number is. You know, it's debatable. People know it's high, but you know, they say that the real number is probably around 5% just this year. I mean, inflation is crazy. So that's why you see people look to put their dollars into gold, into silver, into Bitcoin, into cryptocurrency, right? Because of the store of value. It's very valuable because it has a very limited supply. So let's go on here. That is why you need a reliable store of value that lets your earnings retain their worth, and not just retain their worth, but can even actually increase and grow dollars. What is store of value and how it relates to crypto? First, your understanding of the terms value and inflation and how they apply to your earnings is when you will understand today's term store of value. So it's the value of your cash. It's your purchasing power. It's how much you can buy at a given point in time, while inflation is the gradual decrease in purchasing power of cash due to the increasing supply of cash. Simply put, there is no limit to the number of banknotes or coins a country can issue. And by the simple principle of economics, when the supply of something increases, its value decreases. So if you were to go buy a gallon of milk a few decades ago, you'd probably have been paying maybe $1 for that gallon of milk. Today, you're paying probably upwards of $4 to $5 a gallon of milk. A gallon of gas. Decades ago, if you were to get a gallon of gas, you would have paid less than $1. Guys, I'm 42. I remember when I was growing up, my parents would stop, get gas. Gas was like 75 cents a gallon, right? And I know some people even older than me say, man, I can remember it when it was 25 cents a gallon. Still same gallon of gas, but today a gallon of gas costs, geez, it can vary right now, $4, $5, $6, depending on where at in the United States you are. If you're in other parts of the world, gas is probably in some places $7, $8 a gallon. So it's your purchasing power, what you can buy. You know, if you're aspiring to buy that big fancy yacht, that big fancy yacht 20 years ago would have cost quite a few million less than what a big fancy yacht costs today, right? It's still a big fancy yacht. It doesn't matter if it was 10, 20 years ago or today. You guys get the point. So when you put your dollars in a good store of value, as inflation goes up, you're able to still have the purchasing power to buy what you would buy, only seemingly at a less price. So to the store of value, an asset must have a growth rate that's higher or equal to the inflation rate. The inflation rate is the amount of new money that's being produced. Okay, that's when the debt ceiling gets raised. It must also be easily transferred through time. Doesn't deteriorate, otherwise it won't really store value. So cryptocurrency is a store of value. There's a number of reasons why cryptocurrencies are considered an effective store of value. Why is crypto an effective store of value? Well, it's a long-term hedge against inflation. It has a limited supply, and the sky's really the limit. It's easily divisibility. $1 can be divided into 100 cents, but one Bitcoin can be divided into 100 million Satoshis. And then you've got the jurisdiction, universal jurisdiction. Fiat currencies are limited by geographical boundaries. Crypto knows no boundaries. True ownership. People have time and again lost their life savings due to the failure of central systems. Cryptocurrencies are decentralized currencies that absolutely no one controls. Now, not only that, I want to talk about this easily divisibility. I want you to understand the difference between cryptocurrency and fiat currency. Fiat currency has no way to chop their money down, has no way to deflate it, because it's not the same technology as cryptocurrency is. But I want to give you an interesting fact. This is actually a fact I researched back in 2017. So today it's probably even more shocking. But what crypto is essentially, there's 21 million Bitcoin. Let's say you had a penny and you took 21 million pennies in the beginning. And instead of inflating the supply or inflating the supply, you were to deflate it. It was a deflationary currency. So let's compare apples to apples. Say we had 1 million pennies and we had 1 million Bitcoin in the beginning. Or excuse me, 21 million Bitcoin and 21 million pennies in the beginning. Okay, 21 million. Did you know that in 2017, when I did the math, 1 penny today, if we were to deflate it instead of inflate it, would be worth over $7 million. Let that sink in. We took 21 million pennies in the beginning, and instead of inflated them and kept printing all these dollars, we were to deflate them. If you could, hypothetically speaking, break off a piece of penny, right? Maybe you wanted to buy a car, maybe you wanted to buy some food, you break off a piece of penny. Maybe you wanted to buy a car, break off a bigger piece of penny, a home or a house or a bigger purchase. Maybe you break off, half of a penny or whatever it is. You break off a bigger piece of a penny. But if we were actually able to chop up pennies, today, if we started with 21 million pennies, today 1 penny would be worth over $7.5 million. I mean, it's so incredible to even look at what a deflationary supply does versus an inflationary supply. So where does the future go? Well, that's a good question. The future isn't one-dimensional. Stocks, bonds, gold, silver, and real estate will no doubt remain popular investments. But with its ingrained ability to store value, we're sure to see crypto being leveraged more and more often by people who want to safeguard their earnings. And that's where NRGY DeFi comes in. NRGY is the future of decentralized finance, a one-of-a-kind distributed business building platform that enables the creation of decentralized apps, what's called dApps. NRGY leverages the power of its financial technologies with an incentivized network community. The core four, NRGY DeFi and NRGY Go, STARSTAKE, and of course many more dApps to come. Early adapters helping NRGY community to learn and grow while offering their expertise in building dApps, new technology like INFT, Infinity NFT technology, which is what STARSTAKE uses, and more, okay? And those four is, of course, Alan, Chris, myself, and Peter. Now, and people ask about us. Guys, understand this. We deployed NRGY and we went and we bought a lot of NRGY in the beginning. Okay. In fact, we didn't even get our coins given to us, right? We gave this 100% to the community. We didn't hold any back. We couldn't because of the way the smart contract was programmed. We had to take our own funds and go buy NRGY. But we bought a lot of NRGY in the beginning. Why? Because we wanted to have a vested interest in being able to develop a whole new financial ecosystem. So, you've got four guys that are very, very excited, very, very passionate about helping people. One thing I will say about us is, if you know any of us, none of us are real flashy. I mean, we're pretty humble people. We've never forgot our roots. Let's just say that. And I couldn't work with a better group of guys. So our mission, and Lynn wrote this, first time I'm seeing this. When you help people towards a better future and are part of building a community that allows everyone to win, you know the journey will be long-lasting, encouraging, positive, and profitable. And the thing I like about NRGY is that we all get to win together. It's not about jockeying for position, who can get in at the best price, who can get out and be left holding a bag of bricks. NRGY is about none of that. This NRGY is about winning together and about bettering people's lives and not seeing if you can get one up on somebody. And that's what I really like about NRGY. So I want to talk about NRGY just briefly as a store of value. Okay, we all know that the store of value is a big thing. What's the end goal for NRGY? the end goal for energy, guys, is to be worth a lot of money. Okay, let's just put it that way. Every energy would be worth a lot of money. And at that point, we know that it's not feasible for the average person to go in and have 25 energy in staking. Why? Because the price is so high. There'll be institutions that are coming in, I'm sure, but the price would be, so astronomical. Yet, they could still get energy to use as a store of value and actually get the growth. Why? Because the fact that energy is paying royalties with people with 25 or more energy staked, it's basically a cash flow for them. They're making money every day from staking their energy and royalties. So it's basically just a cash flow for them. That cash flow gives energy so much value. Why? Because those people that are involved with energy, they never want to unstake their energy. All that liquidity is locked up permanently. And you know what? If somebody does step out of staking, there's somebody right there to go ahead and grab their place, even if you can't get those 25 coins put in staking. What this does is that this takes and maintains the value. So even if energy in the future got to be, let's say, $100,000 a coin, right? Somebody could still buy energy and benefit. They could still hold energy and benefit. Now, they may only be able to afford half of an energy, or maybe a quarter of an energy, maybe even a tenth of an energy, but they could still get that growth because of that piece of all those. Everybody has 25 coins staked. I shouldn't say all those people because it's not many. The people have 25 coins staked, they're getting those royalties. And this gives energy, as cash flow gives it a store of value. Now, the thing about energy is it's in what's called the decentralized finance market, DeFi market. Why is that piece so important? Because it acts basically like a bank owned by the community. That's what DeFi is. In fact, if I go to the energy liquidity pool over here on Uniswap, you will see. Let me go to the liquidity pool here. It acts like a bank. Okay, it acts like a bank that's owned by who? By you guys, the community, by all of us that own energy. Energy is not owned by any one person. And if you look, this is the liquidity pool. We have a supply of coins and we have a supply of dollars. This is the bank basically that's owned by the community. Now, the reason this is important is because in the past, when Bitcoin come out, DeFi didn't exist. Decentralized finance didn't exist. Bitcoin is traded on speculation. What's speculation? That's the price somebody's willing to pay. You see, you can only sell Bitcoin for what somebody else is willing to give for it. But with the advent of DeFi, from inception, everybody who owns energy has basically contributed to the community bank. Energy will always be on the DeFi market. Energy isn't backed by speculation. Energy is backed by a liquidity pool from the beginning of real dollars. That means if the price gets to be up to, let's say, 50,000 like Bitcoin, right? Instead of putting it on the market and having to find a buyer that takes it for 50,000, all you do is you basically just withdraw it from the community bank, and you're not dependent on somebody willing to pay a price. The money's already there in the bank that's basically funded by the community. And when you look at these two pieces, guys, I really believe that energy actually has a better store of value than Bitcoin. You could make that argument. Maybe not right yet, but when those royalties start, that cash flow starts coming through, and you've got that demand, I really think that you could see I really think you could see that. So with that, I got my kids in the background here at the office, and sometimes it kind of interrupts my thinking. But I do believe that you could make that argument that energy is going to be one heck of a store of value. So what's our long-term goal? Guys, we just build this thing big, and we create a foundation that is solid, and we create that long-term goal where the sky's really the limit for energy, because people aren't only using it to get their 25 staked and earn royalties, they're also using it as a store of value. And with that, I think I'm going to turn this over to Peter to say a few things, or Alan, or Peter, if you want to say a few things and then you want to flip it over to Alan, I'll turn it over to one of you guys, and then we'll go through this AMA.
Yep, sure, no problem. So, guys, appreciate everybody being here. Hold on, I'm just setting up my tripod real fast. All right, so appreciate everybody being here. I am very informal today as I'm flying around getting things ready for the holidays. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about, and there's been a bunch of people that have come up and said, hey, you know, this is coming out and that's coming out and this is coming out and they're doing some kind of royalties. Are you guys aware of what's going on? We're aware of every kind of competition that could be posed to STARSTAKE at the present. What you're not aware is that the system that we have in place, the access economy that we have in place, no one else has. So as a whole, what we have is very unique. There may be components of what we have that other people may be doing or other companies may be doing, but as a whole, what we have, no one else has as a one-stop shop. So I just want that to be really clear, so that when you see articles or other things come out about whatever it is, you know, where some royalty company got like $100 million, you know, pumped into their company and this is what they're going to be coming out with, still nothing in comparison to what we have. And you'll be seeing that very shortly. So I just wanted to stress that point with everybody so that you guys are aware. And of course that, you know, we are all very early to this. And as Dwayne said, NRGY and STARSTAKE is going to be our first real flow of, you know, income that's going to be coming in for our dApps. And we're going to be having other ones in the future too. And other people will have certain ideas that maybe they want to create their own dApps. And then as you guys are actually staking more than 25 energy, you get to earn on that whole ecosystem. So this is a very long-term play. This is not where you come in, you get your profits and you leave. If that's what a lot of people have on their mind, it's probably not for you, because you're going to regret it later on when it's worth a hell of a lot more. And you're going to say, I wish I had stayed the journey. How many times have you looked at a coin where it's worth a penny and then all of a sudden 2 years later, everything comes together and then it's worth $1 and you sold it at 10 cents, right? That same thing happened to me with Phantom. I sold mine way too early. I should have had the conviction to say, you know what, I'm just gonna stick it out, I'm gonna stick it out, I'm gonna stick it out. I made profit, but I got in at 7 cents and I sold it at 55 cents. It went all the way up to almost $3. Now imagine if I had held it, and I had a nice bag. So imagine I had held it even longer, right? Because the ecosystem wasn't fully ready. The adoption wasn't really there. But when it becomes there is when the coin begins to start growing in value. So I just wanted to stress that to everyone. Alan, if you want to add anything, feel free.
Hey, happy holidays, everybody. I want to just in discussing some of the points Peter just brought up, the people that make life-changing wealth are long-term investors, right? Fortunately or unfortunately, crypto speculators are very short-term oriented. They're into one thing, they're on to something else. They're into something, they're into something else. And typically what happens, I know a lot of people that sold energy early on when the price was higher. Today, you can look at their wallets, it's all transparent. They have nothing left. They've got into some other thing that just, they lose in the long run. When you try to, on the other hand, people that have long-term focus, one of our top second largest coin holder is an independent investor. He's been holding Bitcoin since 2013. Okay, he comes on these calls quite often. He has never sold a single energy. He's a very successful investor. He's a doctor. He's a very successful investor. He has accumulated life-changing wealth in cryptocurrency. Why? Because he was, and Bitcoin retraced 90% several times since he owned it. But he was in for the long term. He believed that it was a fundamental change, as he believes that energy, it has fundamental value over the long term. He's looking at energy to be as big, if not bigger, stake for him in his retirement as his Bitcoin is. And that comes directly from him. So having that long-term focus is, if you really, it's up to you, you have the choice. But if you do want to have a long-term focus, I have that long-term focus. And so does Peter. When price ran up, we didn't come and start dumping our coins. Why? Because we have long-term focus. So though I don't really understand the market mechanism all the time, how it values things, at the same time, I'm not worried about the value of energy. Obviously, we're tremendously undervalued at this point in every aspect. Partly because people can't really see everything that's going on from our perspective. I was going to really quickly, and I don't want to spend too much time today, I was going to give you a quick little glimpse of STARSTAKE platform. And besides STARSTAKE, by the way, Genie Signal users are doing very, very well. On average, over the last quarter, they've just shy of 30% returns using the algorithms on Genie Signal. So that product is ready for, after testing with some initial energy holders, that product is ready to roll out this year as well. But we're super positive about our outlook. Our outlook is strong. We have, we started this in February last year on the idea that if we built a fair financial system, we could develop incredible businesses and application, and that's exactly what's happened. So let me share my screen real quick. I just want to show you guys a quick little glimpse. Wayne, if you can help me.
One thing I didn't mention too in my portion, and one thing I didn't mention in the store of value that I wanted to quickly mention, is that energy supply, guys, is going to be much, 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 much less than Bitcoin supply. The energy supply, right now, there's 180,000 in circulation. So it's a very limited supply.
Now, as in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I was showing you screenshots. Now you see we have an actually working application, which is being deployed. The cool news is INFT Bucks, which is this product right here that lets people use cryptocurrency in a visual way. The first deployment of that, I'm going to get a chance to take a look at it as early as later today. And so that is in the final stages. We have an incredible platform that we've built that is going to, and the cool part, every energy holder gets to participate in a royalty on this application, but they have no direct investment in it. We have other businesses as well that are starting up. Once again, royalties for energy holders with no investment. That's the cool part about this, about energy, is as more and more people join and build things, people like us, right? That we built this. I mean, look at and people are concerned. Oh, they're hearing about other NFT platforms. First of all, we did hire an intellectual property firm earlier in the year. We feel confident that our unique intellectual property ideas on STARSTAKE are going to be protected and are going to go through the scrutiny of of the process of protecting intellectual property. But more importantly, what makes what we have better, in my opinion, and more powerful than anything else that's out there isn't the fact that we just have a royalty platform. It's not just the fact that we have a leading design, a leading platform in NFT, but the fact that it's linked to our financial system in a way that it's not just royalties, it's growth. As more people use STARSTAKE, as more people, you can see here, this is the stake hub, right? As more people use STARSTAKE, the underlying value of that's held, you talk about store of value, there's a store of value inside the STARSTAKE itself, is going to grow based on the value of our digital assets that make up the energy ecosystem, right? More users means more use of our digital assets, which means higher valuations, right? Simple scenario. Nobody has linked their NFT platform to a financial system the way we have. Nobody has the type of technology that we've developed. And quite frankly, there's going to be competition. There's going to be people in the NFT space. No one is going to approach it our way. And if we're correct in the way that we position ourselves, if we're correct in the way that we have designed and built this incredible product, and I believe we are, because it all came from feedback from real people such as yourselves, then we're gonna have a great, successful application. If you go take a look at OpenSea, go take a look at the other stuff that's out there. Many people are talking about, oh, I'm gonna have an NFT platform. Nobody has a system like this. Nobody has a complete financial system that takes intellectual property, right, and allows people to own it and to have it as a financial asset in a way that STARSTAKE does. So I don't worry at all about competition. I think we're in great shape. Absolutely beautiful stuff. There's reason for now. It did take. I'm going to just show you one more thing, and I'm going to get back on target here. One of the things that we had to do in approaching this, and one of the reasons I wouldn't call it a delay, but it's just a further development, is we had to build this so that we could scale, so artists could scale, right? We need the artists to be able to get on board. We couldn't possibly onboard every single artist. I don't know why that's not popping up. Hold on a moment. Let me see here. Trying to get back to this. Apologize. Yeah, I guess it's not popping up for me right now.
Alan, I just want to say, we're going to open it up here for questions here pretty quick. We're going to have an AMA. And if you're out there on Facebook watching, I'm going to turn off the Facebook streams here before the AMA. So go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, so but my point is that we had to build the ability for people to go ahead and onboard quickly, right? And that is the part that's the most important, right? Because if people can't get on board, where's why this isn't popping up? If people can't get on board, then what's going to happen is we can only onboard so many people. At the same time, the demand is incredible already for people that want to be on this platform. And so we needed a system where they could build their offer, right? Build their INFT and do it, that includes their images. If they're doing INFT bucks, produce those. All the different parts and pieces, right, had to be able to be turnkey, so people could come on here with a referral and get them up on the platform, because we anticipate thousands of people are going to be wanting to get on this platform, and there's no way we're going to be able to manually bring everyone on individually. There's just no possible way. So part of it, the final piece, was getting the creator hub built so that people can come onto this and they can understand everything as best that we can and get the support materials together and all the things that we needed to do so that when we're ready to roll, right, which we are, we can have just onboard lots and lots of content quickly. Some people told me that STARSTAKE is the Facebook of NFT business. And I really believe it is, because it connects people in a way that it's not just putting up an NFT. It connects the artist directly to the fans in a way that no other platform has proposed or has built. So
and not just the artist, Alan, I might add, in the brands, because there'll be products on STARSTAKE, unique products. Well, STARSTAKE is for all intellectual property. So it'll connect people to brands, and it'll connect people to artists like never before. In fact, guys, we have celebrities that are actually reaching out to us. I just got a message from a movie director and a movie producer, and going to be doing this.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. I guess everyone's heard of. We're talking to some pretty influential people. Yeah, we're talking to some. I don't want to name drop, but I've been fortunate in the last week to 2 weeks. Been traveling a lot, meeting a lot of people inside both not only the music industry but the sports industry, to allow that they're taking a real liking to what we're doing and what we're up to. So the next step is for us to we're introducing this to some key people. I'm busy right now, baby. I'm busy. Give me a minute, okay? That's my daughter.
We all have kids. That's the great thing.
So one of the I'm sitting here in my car, getting ready to take them somewhere. But I would just say to you, I'm just going to say we've done amazing things in the last 10 months. Amazing things. Everything you see has been built in 10 months, and you guys are a big part of it too. I'm very optimistic. I think all of us should be. If we look at what the value of what we've built, obviously it's not reflected in the current price, but that's going to change. 100% that's going to change. So let's just say that we're in great position for this year. We'll go from theory to use, actual reality here within the next 2 weeks. We're also planning on being on Polygon on December 20th. That still looks like to be the date for the Polygon opening for NRGY on Polygon. Once again, the Ethereum ecosystem costs, the gas fees, all of that has lowered the value of our coin on the markets. It's cost too much money to transact. It's too expensive to stake. And so that's reduced demand for our coin, made it very, very difficult. And all of the other environmental factors, right, that were not in place a few months ago have come, but that's going to be changed with this new deployment onto Polygon. So we were doing not only building STARSTAKE, not only building all of our applications that we're building, but at the same time, migrating to Polygon Matic on December 20th. So I just want to say that in order to make all this work, the key thing is the team of people, right? And we're very, very fortunate because our group of different developers, that's taken years to get those people together. I mean, these are multi-year relationships. If you went ahead today and said, "Oh, I'm going to build a STARSTAKE," you better have, $5 million or $10 million in funding. And then even with that, you can burn right through that and still not produce anything. The fact is that to get the kind of talent, they have to be incentivized. How are they incentivized? They're incentivized because they want to own energy. That's why they're committed to building, working 7 days a week, 14 hours a day. That's why we've been able to do all the things that we've produced, is because of the financial system. What makes STARSTAKE better than anything else? It's the underlying financial system that monetizes the value of not just the royalties. Anyone can, give back 10 cents back to, I think, Rock Nation, who we talked to. All of a sudden they decided, after we spoke to them and shared them STARSTAKE, they're going to start offering royalty rebates, right? But it's not about giving people $5 or $3. It's a financial system that can grow exponentially, right? That's the difference. So what we're up to right now is an exciting thing, and I'm going to turn this back over to Dwayne. Thank you, guys.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do. All you guys watching on Facebook, I'm going to turn off the feeds on Facebook here in just a second. And we're going to do an Ask Me Anything. This is any questions you have about energy or any questions you have about cryptocurrency or the DeFi market. This is the place for that. So what you're going to do is you're going to find in the comments of the video you're watching, there's a link to this very Zoom. Okay. And if you're watching this, maybe a friend shared it out and there's in the comments, there's no link, go to the original video that they shared it from. If you go to that original video, there's a link in the comments to get on this Zoom and to be able to ask your questions. I do want to say one thing before we end. I want to congratulate Alan. He just had his first grandchild. Alan just had his first grandchild this past week. And it's kind of funny. We all joke around because we're all old daddies. We're all old daddies, okay? Myself, Peter, and Chris, we're 42 years old, okay? We're all 42. We're all the same age. Peter's got a son about my son's age. Chris has got a son about our son's age. My dad got a little girl that's 5 years old. Alan, you saw his little girl come up to him. Alan just had his grandkid, but Alan's an even older daddy than us because his daughter, like, how old is she? 8 or 9? She's 8 or 9, isn't she?
Yes, she's 9.
She's about Peter's sons, my sons, and Chris's son's age. So
yeah, and I just was fortunate to become a grandfather, which was incredible. And but it's just it's lots of children. That's what it's all about. You know, we're trying to build a better future for our kids. You know, I mean, that's what motivates me. You know, when you get to be I'm a little older than some of the people here in this room, and you know, a lot of you. I will just say that when you get to a certain point in your life, you try to use all your experiences and you know, all the things you've gone through to create, you know, something of substance that goes on after you. And so I think all of us are like, it's all about being focused on the long term every day, every week. Well, I know in building NRGY and STARSTAKE, I mean, weeks go by like days. I mean, it just goes by so fast, especially when you're working and you're focused and you're pushing as hard as you possibly can. So we are goes by. I know for some of you that are waiting, it doesn't seem like days, but to me, it's been a whirlwind. I want to thank everybody for being part of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, congratulations to you, Alan. But
thank you.
Yeah, we all guys. One thing that I think we all really want to do is leave a legacy, not just to our families, but really to the world. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the recording, and then I'm going to in the Facebook feed. So everybody on Facebook, get on the Zoom, and I will see you guys on Facebook. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas from us. Happy holidays. Have a great time. Love your families. Enjoy some relaxation. And we'll see you guys next year, Facebook. Everybody on the Zoom, you guys stick around. Bye now, Facebook.